Hey, what's going on, Black people? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World in the Black Business School. And I wanted to, before I get started with the day, I wanted to give you a quick update on ASAP Rocky, the rapper. ASAP Rocky's been detained in Sweden over a weird situation involving an attack that a lot of people think was self-defense. A lot of people think that it was a situation that involves racism. At the same time, I think a lot of people are not real sympathetic to the guy because he's basically shown he doesn't have a lot of concern for the Black community. And so before I get started, though, I want to say, hey, what's going on, Conscious Ether, Dead Serious, Nate Dogg, DDS? I see you all the time. Good morning to you. Benjamin Butler, Alejandro, Sly Boogie, Sherry Smith, Renee says free ASAP. Let me see. Okay, I see 313 from Scott McDonald. I love the 313. Shout out your city. Shout out your city. I love when you guys shout out your city. Also, if you could hit the thumbs up button, please hit that thumbs up button. So I'm gonna give you a quick update on what's going on with the situation with ASAP Rocky. We got a meeting this morning. I'm getting ready to in case you're coming to Chicago for our investment seminar on Sunday, you should take a look. It's drboycechicago.com. If you live in Chicago or want to come to Chicago, it'll be worthwhile. And then the next city is Los Angeles. So it's drboycelosangeles.com if you want to check that out. All right. So I see New Orleans. I see Philly, Austin, DC. Sup, boys? Can I get a shout out? What's going on? Is that Fuzzy Baller? I can't even read it. Fusoy Baller. I can't. How can I shout you out, Joseph? I can't even pronounce your YouTube name. I'm messing with you, man. Kylene, Texas, Miami, Jacksonville, New York, Miami, Chicago, Hampton. You know what's funny? When I saw Kylene, Texas, I started thinking about a story I just read yesterday about a fake drug bust in a small town in Texas where they literally locked up 10% of the Black people in that town. 10%. And all the charges were fake and trumped up and everything else. And they went to prison for years, and the cop that did the testimony literally made everything up. I mean, it was literally just the most bogus stuff you've ever seen. And it's a reminder of the horror and the tragedy and the Holocaust of mass incarceration. And we don't talk about it as much as we should because we think that our suffering is just kind of par for the course, that Black people are supposed to suffer no matter what. But I think we should talk about that all the time. Every time they start talking about immigration and they got concentration camps with kids locked in cages. Every time they say that, first thing I do is I say, well, they got thousands more Black people. For every one immigrant that gets locked up, there's probably 1,000 Black people that have been locked up. Did you think about that? Or do you not give a fuck because you're white? Is that it? Is that what it is? Is that are we doing 1,000 to 1? Are we 1,000th of a person? I thought we were only 3/5 of a person, but now it turns out we're 1,000th of a person, which is even worse than 3/5. Anyway, that's where I come from. I probably sound like a cynical bastard when I bring it up, but I think we need to bring that up seriously. Everybody up there talking about the Jewish Holocaust and the Nazi Holocaust and the immigrants and all that stuff. Not to say those things aren't bad. Fine, they are bad, but stop having sympathy for other people when you can't have sympathy for yourself. Seriously. Anyway, let me get back to ASAP Rocky. Okay, so there's been a recent development in ASAP Rocky's case. I've actually followed it because I do find it interesting to find out what's going on with this brother. And oddly enough, TMZ is really on top of it. TMZ, they're mixed reviews on TMZ, right? But they are what they are. In fact, they have interesting stories. They love Black people. Like they actually have a story about the rapper Young Dro out of Atlanta, arrested for attacking girlfriend with banana pudding. That's interesting. Okay. Anyway, I might check that out. But so here's what it says. They said basically the man who attacked ASAP Rocky's crew will not be prosecuted for any crime, despite the fact that he incited the violence and persisted in harassing the rapper before ASAP finally snapped. So if you watch that video, and you can watch it on the internet, it's really interesting. Basically, to ASAP Rocky's credit, he was actually trying to get the dude to stop. He was trying to get the guy to go away, leave us alone, stop following us, etc. And the guy apparently was mad about some headphones, and he threw the headphones right at the bodyguard's head or something. I mean, he clearly attacked him. And I think the Swedish authorities, they're not really helping the fact that Sweden is getting a really bad reputation out of this. Sweden is starting to look like clan country right now because people are wondering why is it that, first of all, why is ASAP been locked up the whole time when the video clearly shows that he was trying to defuse the situation? Even in America, America, you know, a video like that would have probably got him exonerated, because people would say, yeah, he did whoop his ass, but first of all, ass whooping ain't gonna really, he didn't kill him. You know, okay, he got slammed to the ground, but he kept fucking with him. So we're gonna just call it, we're gonna watch, it's a wash. You know, you were messing with him, he came back at you. It was a fight, who cares? That's how I am with fights. I'm like, well, I mean, you hit him first, he hit you second, he hits you harder than you hit him. It is what it is, right? But the thing about it, though, is in this situation, it's fascinating because it's almost like they're exonerating the other guy of any blame and putting everything on ASAP Rocky's back. Now, the reason I'm covering this story is very important. First of all, I cover things that happen in the Black community, particularly things that happen with Black men. But also, I think it's important for us as Black people to understand what these countries are like. You know, how these countries think. I don't really know if they did this to ASAP Rocky just because he's famous, or just because he's rich, or just because he's a rapper. They might have done it just because he's Black, or it might be because he's Black and he's a rapper, or he's Black and he's rich, right? You're a rich nigga, so we're gonna take down a rich nigga because we're gonna take down a rich white man like this. I can't imagine, and I think there was some goofy rapper named G-Eazy or something. It was a white boy who said the same thing. He said, I got locked up in Sweden. They didn't do this to me. It's race, right? And so that really says, you know, to all of you guys, you know, when you go out of the country, it doesn't mean that you're, I think you're in more danger in America than you are in most other countries. But when you go to other countries, don't get out there, you know, thinking that because somebody was messing with you, that you can just knock them out, right? Because you don't want to be locked up in the jail in a foreign country, because there are stories of people going to foreign countries for a little 2-week vacation and coming back 8 years later. Right, literally years and years later. I thought about this because I remember when I went to China for the first time back in 2005, 2006. I taught a class in China. It was a really great experience, and I was there with there happened to be 2 African American women in our group. One lady and there was wonderful young ladies. One of them, I think both of them went to Hampton, and one was from Brooklyn, one was from Harlem. And you know, and they went, you know, they like my posse, the people I love in Brooklyn. Like, they don't take no shit, you know. My Harlemites don't take no shit. And so they got into a situation where and a Chinese lady was riding her bike. Lots of people ride bikes in China. Everybody's riding a bike. So when you get out of the car, or when you're crossing the street, you can't just look for the cars. You got to look for the bikes. A lot of people get run over by bikes. Well, they opened their car door when they got out of the cab, and the lady's bike smacks into the car door, and she flips over and lands on the concrete. Now, Chinese, I'm just gonna be real, maybe I'm stereotyping, but Chinese people are tough. Like, if you go over there, you'll see like a 65-year-old man riding his bike 20 miles to work, and he'll have his wife on the back, his baby on the front, and be hauling a big thing of bananas, like, and doing that, like going to work every day, no complaining, ain't no like, oh, this is too hard. No, he just gets it done for his family. Like, I have mad respect for that kind of mindset. Like, I think honestly, like we're trying to bitch too much and complain. I say get the job done, but that was how I was raised. It's how my daddy raised me. But anyway. So the lady flips over the door. Now she sees that they're Americans. She's not really so much seeing race. She's like, oh, you American. That means you got money. You need to pay me because you hurt me, right? Like, it's like, okay, street justice. We're gonna settle this right here, you know. And so the lady's like, she's like talking in Chinese, and they don't understand. So they talking in English, and they yelling back, bitch, blah, blah, I gotta fuck you up, bitch, blah, blah. And the police got called. And that situation made me really nervous because in China, you don't want to get locked up, because once you get locked up, it's like being in another world. You're in a justice system that you don't understand. You're in a justice system where the same rules that apply in the U.S. don't apply there. You're in a justice system where they don't have to explain why they're detaining your ass. They might keep you there till you old and be like, oh, sorry, we decided not to charge you. You can go home now, right? And the thing is that, you know, ASAP Rocky, you know, he got the attention of the president of the United States. He got the attention of all the biggest rappers and you know, artists, musical artists around the world, and he still can't get out. So what do you think they're gonna do to you? What do you think they're gonna do to you? So I don't really know where this is going to go, but I can say that it's kind of crazy and interesting that they're not charging the attacker. They are going to charge him. According to TMZ, they've actually, the prosecutors accidentally announced that they are going to charge him with aggravated assault, which means he could get 6 years in prison. Trump called the Swedish prime minister. They basically said, we're not going to let you dictate our, our legal system. We don't care if you're American or if you're arrogant. It doesn't matter. And so it's going to be it could be an uphill ride for ASAP Rocky. Now, again, am I talking about this because I care about ASAP Rocky's fate? I mean, I don't want to see anybody suffer. Like I don't enjoy seeing anybody suffer, but I don't really know how much the black community is going to lose, if ASAP Rocky ain't here no more. He wasn't exactly the biggest soldier for black people, and he went out of his way to, speak ill and negatively of black people protesting on behalf of other black people. And he seemed to be, unfortunately, caught up in that poisonous hip hop mindset. Not that all hip hop is poison, but you got poison minded people in hip hop. You have a few out there, and he was really into rapping about the drugs and the women and the Gucci and all that. And that shit pisses me off, because we out here making Gucci rich and Louis rich. The Louis Vuitton founder, now he's worth over $100 billion because of black people. Lion King just got released. They made $500 million in a weekend, and black people, we probably dropped at least 100 million on Lion King this weekend, but y'all can't put up 10 million for your own damn schools, but you put up 100 million to make white people rich. What the hell's wrong with y'all? Well, that mindset is deep, and it's toxic, and it's poisonous, and it's hard to flip that. Rappers could flip it very quickly if they all got together and committed themselves to a code of conduct and a code of ethics in terms of, the types of things you will not promote. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. Every other community does it. The Asians do it. The Jews do it. Every other community has a code of conduct for their most prominent, most successful, wealthiest people. Black people ain't got no code of conduct. That's why your shit's all over the damn place, and you'll go cheer for any son of a bitch who wants to get your kids hooked on drugs. Hip hop is very powerful. It is hypnotic. It is mind control. It hypnotizes young children. They recite the lyrics 10,000 times, which embeds the mindset and the ideology of the rapper deeply into their subconscious mind, so they carry that behavior throughout life. So when your child is 10 years old and he's repeating lyrics that basically say, I want to stay high and stay drunk all the time, I want to spend my money on Gucci and Louis, I want to go chase white girls or whatever, and kill other black people, then they're going to carry that. They're going to keep that. So it doesn't mean they're going to grow up murdering black people, but they could. It also doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to go and not care about the black community, but they could end up in the coonery cage. And we know we got a whole lot of caged up coon ass Negroes out here with big platforms that need some reverse brainwashing. So when ASAP Rocky's out here, no disrespect to him, but I'm just saying, like, if you out here trying to destroy the black community that you come from, the black community that held you down when your ass couldn't afford a bowl of cereal, then we can't. I don't know how much love people can have for you. I don't know how much people can care. So am I talking about this story? And I'm going to talk about it again as the developments happen. I'll talk about it here on drboycetv.com. But am I talking about it because I am just so deeply concerned about him? No, I speak on it because I'm deeply concerned about you, and I also speak on it because I'm deeply concerned about the community. When you go to these other countries, be careful. Don't be getting into shit. In fact, I just read another story about a bunch of people died in Costa Rica now over poison alcohol. That was already happening in the Dominican Republic. Now it's Costa Rica too. So I'm just saying, be very careful when you go to other countries. Have fun, do your thing, live your life, but be careful. Do not assume that you are safe the way you might feel safe at home, even though I don't know if you should be safe at home. Really, we need to take our black asses back to Africa. And that's what I'm going to be doing. My next big major trip is going to be Africa. I just got to figure out which country I want to go to. Hire the security alternate to your lead. Thank you, for your donation. I appreciate that, first and foremost. But second of all, I agree with you. I think if ASAP, right, this is another learning point, especially for those of you who plan to have a little bit of money or plan to be famous. Get you some security. Make sure you have some protection. Seeing ASAP made me think about my own security, and I couldn't understand why this person was just out there in the open where anybody could get at him. Even I have security. I have people around that will fuck you up if you try to get too close to me. But at the same time, it made me say, maybe I need more. And I think good security, literally, I'm talking about not just a big bulky guy walking next to you. I'm talking about somebody who can literally whisk you away like they would the president of the United States, or like they would have if he was Farrakhan. Like that situation wouldn't happen to a Farrakhan. Why would it not happen to a Farrakhan? Well, because Farrakhan has some guys around him who will take you down before you even know, the third word comes out of your mouth, or before you even act like you're going to throw some headphones at somebody, you're going down. I went to the minister's house, and I'm going to tell you, since I got to go, I got a meeting. I walked to the minister's house. He doesn't live that far from my place in Chicago. And I walked to his house one day, and because we had a meeting. And literally, when I walked up to the house, I didn't see anybody like hanging, like standing around the house. But literally before I actually, this was the time I drove. I got out of the car. And before I even got too close to the house, a bunch of people came and like descended on me, like, who are you? What do you want? And then they recognized me, right? And then it was like, oh, all good. But he was well protected, right? And I think a guy like ASAP Rocky or anybody should be thinking about that kind of protection. You can't be going out and be keeping it street all the time or keeping it real all the time. Because remember, that's how Pac got killed. I believe part of the reason Pac got killed is because Pac was keeping it extremely real to the point where keeping it real went wrong, and he ended up in some tough situations that I think could have been avoided. No disrespect to Pac. I'm not saying he was dumb. I'm just saying that sometimes as your situations change, your actions must change as well. That's my 2 cents. All right. So anyway, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. I got to go to this meeting. Also, don't forget, I'll be in Chicago this week doing an investment seminar. You can go to drboycechicago.com if you want to come and hang out with us all day. It's you and me in a room for 7 hours. Small group setting, and we're going to talk about investing all day long. I'm going to do another seminar like that in Los Angeles for Harvest Festival Day, Dr. Claude Anderson's holiday. And then in September 27th, that weekend, is the All Black National Convention in Houston. Willie D will be there, along with a lot of other, Nicole Price, Vicky Dillard, a lot of experts will be there. Go to allblacknationalconvention.com and go ahead and get your ticket, allblacknationalconvention.com. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Hit the thumbs up button. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Be good. Peace.